Netanyahu hits out at Starmer and Macron for backing Hamas after embassy attack. What?
When mass murderers, rapists, baby killers, and kidnappers, thank you, you're on the wrong side of justice. You're on the wrong side of humanity. And you're on the wrong side of history.
These words from the Israeli Prime Minister came just after 2 Israeli embassy staff were shot dead in Washington, D.C.
Killed.
Benjamin Netanyahu is apparently laying some of the blame with Western leaders, accusing them of fueling anti-Semitism and siding with Hamas.
Now, these leaders may think that they're advancing peace. They're not. They're emboldening Hamas to continue fighting forever. And they give them hope to establish a second Palestinian state, from which Hamas will again seek to destroy the Jews.
A second Palestinian state? But the first one, it's in tatters.
And mind you, it's not going to be a state free of Hamas. When you establish a Palestinian state, we've seen it. The radicals take over. Iran sends them in, and they take over.
Netanyahu directed his criticism towards Keir Starmer, Emmanuel Macron and Mark Carney. He said the three were on the wrong side of humanity.
You're on the wrong side of justice. You're on the wrong side of humanity.
His comments follow the deadly shooting of 2 Israeli embassy staff at an event at the Capital Jewish Museum. A young couple, Sarah Milgram and Yaron Lishinsky, were killed in what police are calling a targeted attack. The suspect was arrested at the scene, shouting "Free Palestine" as he was taken into custody.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
The attack came just days after the UK, France and Canada publicly condemned Israel's expanding offensive in Gaza. They called the humanitarian crisis there intolerable and warned of potential consequences if the offensive continues.
Well, that's something.
Starmer has also now suspended talks on a potential trade deal with Israel. Meanwhile, former Israeli Prime Minister
Surprising.
Ehud Olmert suggested that only one world leader could pressure Netanyahu to change course.
If at some point the President of the United States, President Trump, will take part and perhaps will summon the Israeli Prime Minister and say to him in no unclear terms that enough is enough. And this is something that needs to be said, and I entirely understand the discontent and the criticism coming from friendly countries such as Canada or Great Britain.
So this is the former Prime Minister, and he's even agreeing with what Britain and Australia are doing by condemning Israel and their actions in Palestine. It's an interesting time.
France, they are not against the state of Israel, they are against the Israeli government.
On the ground in...
I think that's quite an important thing what he said there, because I think Israel are looking at it as an attack on the state of Israel. No, we're condemning the actions of the Israeli government. The people in power, they're making the decisions. We're not against an Israeli state. I think this is where the confusion comes. But it is getting interesting. It's an interesting situation. It's a terrible situation, especially for the Palestinians. Like, look at the land there. Look at the destruction. But actually, there is no but. There's at least something with the UK condemning it, and now Netanyahu, it seems, is lashing out at France and lashing out at the UK for condemning his actions. But what that Prime Minister said at the end there was, I think, quite important. But it's not an attack on the Israeli state, it's the attack on the Israeli government.
Gaza, the humanitarian crisis...
Do you condemn the Israeli government and their actions? Nothing to do with anti-Semitism and nothing to do with the Israeli state. Nothing to do with the Jewish people. Do you condemn the actions of the Israeli government and their, continued, as many people call it, genocide in Palestine? So, do you condemn that? Do you condemn Hamas? You see what I'm saying?
Crisis deepens. Over 98 trucks entered Gaza on Thursday, but the UN says it's still nowhere near enough to sustain the population. The limited flow of aid follows
just
the
they're just
11-week
running.
blockade, with airstrikes resuming in March.
Okay, no. Just destruction.
Since then,
It's just destruction.
over
terrible.
3,600 Palestinians have been killed,
Zaka.
according to Gaza's health ministry.
Zakaria. How's it going, my brother? Hello, Zakaria. Zakaria. And the cat comes running. Best cat in the fucking world, that one. Well, it's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting times that we're going through here. So we got Netanyahu who hits out and sort of lashes out at Starmer and Macron for backing Hamas, but it wasn't really backing Hamas. It's really condemning the actions of the Israeli government, nothing to do with the Israeli state or the Jewish people. It's really interesting in the way Netanyahu has sort of maybe bended this, maybe misunderstood this. Criticism, it's a criticism on the actions of the Israeli government, nothing to do with the Israeli state. But it's really interesting. Maybe he will try bend that again into anti-Semitism. It's turning very interesting. But we'll keep continuing to follow it. We're in the age of information. We can find all the information and via our preferred sources too. It doesn't have to be legacy media fed the whole literal same words. So yeah, it's good. All right, we'll continue. But anyway.